Okay, welcome everyone. Wonder if you could take your seats. Thank you very much for coming tonight. My name is Janet Davis and I'm a City Councillor here in Toronto in Ward 31 Beaches, East York. And I have the privilege tonight to host tonight's town hall on the sports field permit fees for children and youth. I want to first, though, thank all of you who've come down tonight to share your views with Toronto City Councillors. And secondly, to thank you for the work that you do every single day to ensure that we have activities for our children and youth right across this city and that sport happens on our fields in the City of Toronto. This meeting has been organized by a group of women councillors. And I'd like to particularly thank Councillor Paula Fletcher, Sarah Doucette, Mary Fragadakis, Shelley Carroll, and their staff who have worked hard tonight to organize this event. I'd like to start as well by giving a little bit of background about the purpose of the meeting and how we got here. So tonight is to provide an opportunity for sports organizations to speak to Toronto councillors about the new sports field permit fees for children and youth that were approved in the 2012 budget.
Good evening, councillors. My name is Mark Richardson. I'm a citizen, a voter, a taxpayer from Ward 32 in East End, Toronto. My two children are active participants in city recreation programs at Fairmount Park Community Centre, and we also play in the Cherry Beach Soccer League during the summer outdoor season, though I would like to make it very clear that I do not speak on behalf of that league this evening. This year, our family is being asked to pay an additional $50 per family for what they're calling the Field Fund to help cover the costs of the city facilities at Cherry Beach. That works out to be $1.79 per player per game, which is a fee that I am more than happy to pay. I want to support recreation programs and facilities that are local and accessible for my family. So, there's a problem. We've heard that from everybody here in the room tonight. How did we get into this mess? In 1998, at amalgamation, the new Toronto Council decided to remove existing recreation fees that were being charged in a lot of the boroughs around the city. Those fees had been understood and accepted by members of the public that resided outside of the downtown core. Now, almost 15 years later, we're living with the consequences of what was a well-intentioned but short-sighted decision. Every other municipality in Ontario charges fees for recreation facilities, and what Toronto needs to do is the same. Gradually bring its fees in line with what is charged elsewhere in Ontario for similar services. I encourage you to look at the 2011 Mississauga Recreation Pricing Study and consider it in comparison to what you are doing here in Toronto. As quoted, I think the first paragraph of the background section of that document states this issue pretty clearly. There are two principal sources of funding that are employed to deliver recreation services: property taxes or user fees. Any cost not directly recovered from user fees is by definition subsidized through property taxes. This is true of all municipal programs and services and must be understood when setting user fees. The only alternative in this implicit funding decision is to cancel programs and services or close facilities. I was here in December talking about pool closing and community center closings. Those are our choices. We pay a little bit more for things, or we start losing programs and services. Now, I understand the terrible communication around recent changes of sports fields has caused problems for many of the organizations in this room. But I would suggest that since amalgamation, Toronto Council has jeopardized the long-term viability of local walkable programs, services, and facilities by supporting a pricing framework that is neither comprehensive, consistent, nor rational. To the people on the right of the council, I say it's no way to run a business. To the people on the left of the council, I say it's no way to run a charity either. The long-term strategy for recreation user fees in Toronto should be to clearly communicate a 3-year plan to incrementally increase user fees for all recreation activities to the Ontario average for similar services, and then provide targeted, means-tested subsidies to individuals and organizations that need assistance. I'm a middle-class white guy from the beach. My kids don't need free field.
Thank you very much.
I won.
Well, you're well past your time.
Free isn't free.
Okay. Thank you. Oops. Okay.
Councillor Davis, Kevin Sheehy, President of Scarborough Baseball. Again, like everybody else, thank you for all your support in this, and all the other councillors are here. I hope you can get this message out too. I'd like to respond to that last speaker, by the way, to get his facts straight. I've been involved with baseball for 28 years in Scarborough, and I've never had a user fee before this. So get your facts straight, first of all. And number two, I'm not up here to beg or anything else like that, but I just want to make a point. You know, this has really been a knot in my gut since this came out. The costs that be involved, and not just the cost in terms of the bills, because we're going to have to slash like crazy. And what drives me crazy is the fact, because we're cutting back our programs. Everybody I talk to in our programs involves 4 leagues and 1 rep program. How are they going to cut back? Less practice time, for example. Can't afford that. You know what? A parent is going to look at paying more and getting less. And yes, we put a lot of time in our fields. In fact, so much that a number of kids over the years, when they're looking for their volunteer hours for high school, I can get them 40 hours real easy, get them to maintain fields. Two of my kids have done that. That's how they got their 40 hours. They got it real quick. Lastly, when you look at this schedule, it's an hourly fee just doesn't work. I mean, you're comparing oranges and bananas, because you come up with an hourly fee for a bricks and mortar structure like an arena, which I understand there's staff on hand. But let me point out to you, if you charge an hourly fee for a baseball field, that maintenance remains the same on a weekly basis, whether it's used 7 days a week or 2 days a week. You know, the grass still needs to be cut. We know the maintenance schedules, they aren't going to change. But all I can say is, I'll wrap it up because I know you've heard all the arguments for, is if you can please, and I know I will, and I think everybody else in this room has to, is continue to get the message out to all our councillors. This is very important to us, of all the hours we've put into this. And I'm not saying let's not ever have fees, but this fee structure is totally boggled right now. We need to sit back at the table and start from square one. Thank you.
Thank you very much.